How does a breakup look for a billionaire, man? When you divorce your wife, like, does she take half of the money? What happens?
She gets it all.
For real?
Yeah. She and my kids get it all. I don't want anything.
Yeah.
You know, but what about your first? Because you said first wife.
I was very generous with my first wife, and she's fine. And if ever she has a problem, she calls me. I sort it out. My current wife, my ex-wife, my forever wife, and my ex-wife are not best friend. They're friends. The family's fine. The kids are fine.
So
but I've given everything away
once.
Yeah.
And you gave her everything.
I gave her what she wanted.
Wow.
And still gives whatever she wants.
No. We did a deal then, and that was done. But I said, "What do you want?" And she wasn't ridiculous. She said, "This boom, boom, boom." I said, "Done." And that's the right way to do it.
What did she
want?
She wanted the house that we lived in.
Okay.
She wanted to make sure the children were fully educated and never had a problem.
Okay.
She wanted a certain amount of cash. She wanted some of the things in the house. She was very sensible and reasonable. It was amazing. And if she asks for help, I give her help.
Yeah.
Actually, she'd call my wife Katie first.
Yeah.
They speak to each other. In fact, my kids, my older sons, speak to Katie on everything before they speak to me.
And she doesn't want no love back.
My ex-wife, she's already had a son with her partner, and she's fantastic. Kim herself, gorgeous, wonderful.
How did you feel when she started dating Jude Law?
Well, his girlfriend was Sienna Miller.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And I was at a lunch at the Arts Club in London, and I saw Sienna looking at me in those flirty eyes. I thought, okay, it's 1-1.
Hey, man, I don't get it.
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought Jude Law's pretty cool, actually. You know.
How come she still uses her surname?
Because we had an amicable divorce.
That is a divorce.
It's a divorce, yeah. Doesn't matter. We're amicable. We're friends. My parents, when they go to London, visit my ex-wife.
Are you
my
winning
ex-wife,
Pen?
My ex-wife.
Did you win there?
Sends happy birthdays to my parents. This is a friendly. It's friendly. We're friendly.
Well, have you ever thought about taking more than one wife? You know, you're African after all.
I love that. I fucking love that. Can I call my wife?
Yeah.
Can I call my wife? You know what? I could understand if she wanted to take two husbands, but man, she's more Pen. I mean, come on, isn't she something?
Yeah.
She's absolutely amazing. She's stunning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's. You know, it's funny because at my party on the Saturday night, I did my speech, and I said, you know, I did thank people, blah blah blah, and then I said, my little kids were in bed, but my two older sons, 26 and 23, were sitting at the table in front. And I said, you know, I'm so proud of my little kids, but you two boys, I'm so proud of how you're going. I love you with all my heart. But I have to tell all my friends in the room, I would sell all 4 of my children into slavery just to keep Katie as my wife.
Oh, wow.
So,
how did you even meet her?
I was in Australia
Yeah.
at a friend's 50th birthday. It must have been 15 years ago. I was in Australia, and I got a call from a New Zealand friend of mine. Said, I heard you're in Australia. How dare you come this side of the world without visiting me? And I said, every time I've been to New Zealand, I haven't met one pretty girl. When there are very few pretty girls. It's like Scotland, just further. And he said, all right, I'll see what I can do. So I went there for 2 days to watch some rugby and hang out with him. And I was in the pool at a braai at his house. I looked up, and I saw this girl in red, and I fell in love at first. I'm not that spiritual, and I just fell in love. I just fell in love like that, boom. And I spent the whole day with her, like couldn't move from her. And that night at dinner, we sat on the same chair. I didn't want to even sit at a chair next to her.
Wow.
And every day I kept delaying my flight back. And Annette, my amazing assistant, who's been with me 28 years, called and said, what is going on? You keep delaying the flight. I said, Annette, I think I'm in love. And she said, good for you. Stay down there.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And how long before she gave it up?
Gave what up? No, I'll tell you that. She won't mind. I was so in love with her, and we spent the night in the same bed.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I'm gone. You've done something to me, and I'd love to pounce on you, but I can't because I'm so in love with you.
Wow.
But I did the next morning.
And here we are.
Here we are, yeah. Actually, you should have her on the show, don't you think, Pen? She's cooler than I am. But you know, I was in the Beaufort West 2 days ago.
Yeah.
This friend of mine, Eden Gaggiano, in front of 20 people goes, you know, Rob, the only good thing about you is your wife.
Wow. What is your type? Because I see you like them young, yeah?
Stop it. No, I tell you what my type is.
Yeah.
Sense of humor. Not taking... She didn't take herself at all seriously. She didn't take me seriously.
Did she know who you were?
No idea.
Wow. When it's like that, it's beautiful.
She's a doctor. She's a doctor, and she's super, and she loves South Africa. So we moved here only for 3 years, and now we're staying forever.
Of course.
And she said to me, you need to do something about this country. You need to focus on saving it. It's such a cool country. And she said something to me, and she said, don't tell my parents. So hopefully they're not going to watch this show. She said, but South Africa is more beautiful than New Zealand.
Whoa, look at that.
How's that, man?
South Africa is more beautiful than a lot of countries, man.
This country's worth
so much
dying
potential.
for, living for.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the people are amazing.
Yeah. I read somewhere this, I don't want to get this wrong. I read somewhere. Yeah, here we go. You're also the founder.
You porn.
No, come on, no.
I got you there.
It's too early.
It's not lunchtime yet.
Yeah. You're also a founder of Aderium and Sportal, a leading company in the .com boom, acquiring rights to host official websites of European leading football clubs.
I lost $100 million US then.
Such as Real Madrid, Juventus, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, and other several clubs. What's that about?
Okay. You're not even going to believe this when I tell you. In 1998, I set up a business called Sportal, Sports Portal. I signed, and you can't get these contracts are now illegal, but I signed an exclusive contract for wireless and internet, and no one in those days, 98, kind of knew what wireless and internet, I didn't know what it was, for wireless and internet, 10-year contracts to those football clubs. I owned all their rights for 10 years. If I'd sat on those rights and done nothing about them, I'd be the richest South African in the world. But of course, I didn't. I hired people, raised money, built things, and wiped out. I lost $100 million. I had to lay off 300 people. It was my biggest failure in business.
Wait, explain, man. What happened? Explain like you're speaking to a 3-year-old.
Okay, so we built websites for Bayern Munich, AC Milan, Juventus, Real Madrid. We owned the rights.
You owned them?
Yeah, but in 98, 99, broadband was coming but didn't come. So all we had was like text stories, which all the newspapers had anyway, and very few people were on the internet then. We expected way more people, and we expected broadband so we could show videos. It didn't come. So, wipe out. And then the crash came. We just got smashed. We were going to sign a big deal with Samsung, like a $3 million deal. And then I saw these planes fly into the Empire, the World Trade Towers. I went, I think it's over, pal.
So who owns the websites now?
They're gone. They went back to the clubs.
Oh, those after 10 years, the rights.
No, we went bust. I sold the business for like $100 US. No, it's my biggest failure in business.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But Sportal became Perform Group, became DAZN, DAZN, which is the biggest sports rights business in the world today.
Which you own?
No, it's my original business. But one guy, Simon Danier, who worked for me, cleverly said, I think this thing could be something. He bought it for nothing, built it into a $100 million business, and now it's the biggest sports rights business in the world. But I don't own any of it.
What team do you support?
I don't follow football.
Oh, for real?
But I bought a football team in Italy. You don't know the story. Do you know the story?
No.
Listen to this, man.
Bought it.
You ready for this?
I can't even buy a team in Venda.
Is there a team? No, it's a true story. So I'd done Harvard Business School, and I was living in Italy, working with Johan Rupert, building a pay television business across Europe, living in Italy. A friend of mine, he was half British, half Italian, in Italy, called me and said, Rob, what do you know about football? And I said, well, I mean, I'm running a big pay TV business. We do, sponsorship, TV rights. I said, why? He said, we're going to buy a football team. I said, what are you talking about? He said, there's a tiny team, Vicenza Calcio. Paolo Rossi played for Vicenza Calcio, one of the famous Italian footballers. And Vicenza is a tiny town between Verona and Venice. It's like one of those drive-past towns, okay, like in the Free State. You just drive past it. But it had a team. And the company that owned it was going bankrupt. And this friend of mine said, I think this business makes a little bit of money. Let's buy a football team.
Sure.
We had to put in an envelope to the judge. I think it was like 100,000 euros. Sealed envelope, and the winner wins the club. We were the only guys bidding. We won a football. We bought a. We're the first foreigners to own a football club. I owned a football club for 2 years. I don't even follow football.
That's insane.
But here's a funny story. So, Vicenza won 2 months later, the first piece of silverware it ever won in its life, and hasn't won since. It won the Italian Cup 1-0 against Napoli while I was president. And then we got into the Cup Winners' Cup, played against Chelsea. Chelsea came to Vicenza. I mean, we had our practice ground was sand. Chelsea didn't know the head was spinning. It's like a shitty little club they were playing against. They lost 1-0.
Yeah.
Then we went to Chelsea to play against Chelsea. And there were no people in Vicenza that spoke English. It's a tiny town. So nobody went to the away game. So I had lots of extra tickets. And in London, I was living there. I was giving it out to the pizza guy. Even today, I go to places in London. They go, "Oh, Presidente." And they give me the best table. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But so my team is AC Milan, Chelsea in England, and Kaiser Chiefs here. And Kaiser Chiefs because there was a guy that was our butler in our house, and his name was Mr. Pete, and I loved him, and I loved him, and loved him like my mum and dad. He's long dead, and he was a Kaiser Chiefs fan, and he taught me football, and I'm pretty bad at it. Ended up as goalie.
Would you buy Manchester United right now? Because the Glazers are just like the ANC.
I can't afford it. That's a bit rich for me.
It's too much, ne?
Yeah.
There's levels to the shit.
Which team would you buy?
Man United, if I had all the money in the world.
So a friend of mine just bought AS Roma.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And another buddy of mine who came to my party owns Leeds United. And another buddy of mine, one of my best friends owns Celtic.
What is it about billionaires and the need to own teams, whether it's basketball team? I mean, Brian Joffe locally, I mean, Bidvest owner, hence owning Vets. What is it? Is it?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't own a team.
You did?
I'm a minimalist. No, I did it as a business deal.
Oh.
I think that's how they launder money, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's laundering money, man.
How do you launder money?
Or tax evasion somehow.
Yeah.
So do you know the interesting about football? It's two businesses. Here's a little business lesson for everyone, okay? You've got a normal business. You own a football team, like whatever. The normal business is you sell tickets, sponsorship, merch, TV rights, blah, blah, blah. That's business number one. Business number two is you buy some vendor football player for $5,000 and you sell him for $50 million.
Yeah.
Those are two completely different businesses. And if you're okay at this but good at that, you make a fortune.
Your friend owns Roma.
Who?
Your friend?
Yeah, Dan Friedkin bought AS Roma. They own AS Roma.
You know Mourinho's the coach there.
Yeah, do you want to, anytime you're there, I'll get you tickets anytime. Dan, is that all right?
Listen to this, man.
And my best buddy, Dermot Desmond, owns Celtic.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're living the life, bro.
Jeez, man.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
What's a weekend like for a billionaire? If you just want to have fun.
But I'm not a normal billionaire. So I get up in the morning,
tell me
like
about
at
a
5 in the morning.
Normal billionaire.
Normal billionaires, they splash it out and private jets.
Yeah,
I'm not a normal billionaire.
Yeah, we're doing prostitutes in the yacht here.
Yeah, before you were
I don't have a yacht.
Before you were a minimalist. And
but
like fresh out of a divorce and rock and rolling at on a yacht.
I was at that time in my life, wealth, health, and time. I was at a point in my life where I was very focused on business. So I'd get up in the morning, work.
So how would you let loose?
It's boring. You get up. Okay, I like poetry.
Okay.
I know hundreds of poems. I can tell you them now. I like writing. I like golf. The only sport God gave me is swimming. Look at no shoes on. I have flat feet. These like flippers. Okay? Phew, I'm fine. I like cold water swimming, playing golf. I like telling jokes.
Yeah.
I like public speaking. And
that is very boring. You're right. Yeah.
And unlike most married people, fucking love shagging my wife.
Hey! Oh, you gotta say that. You're on camera. Come on.
Hey.
Are you telling me you've never been busy with models at a yacht?
No, because
in Monaco.
No, yes, I have.
Okay.
When I was single, big time. But you know the thing is, you can't talk to them I mean, once you've done the business,
Yeah.
you just want to get them out of there and go to sleep. Whereas my wife, we're talking and laughing and joking, and that's what you want in life.
Now, forget about it. We spoke about your wife enough. Let's go
Okay,
back to when
whatever.
you were single, yeah?
Yeah.
So-
I was shagging for the world 15.
For real?
Yeah, I was.
How many girls would you shake in a night?
Oh, millions. No, a night.
A night.
No, you've got to take a break now. and again.
And do you go out and speak to these girls, or do you just tell your butler, yeah, I want this one?
Butler, I don't have staff.
Yeah. So you had to go out and Mac yourself.
I had to talk to girls. Yeah, we didn't have Tinder and Grindr,
didn't
whatever you
book
guys
them,
do.
Yeah.
No,
right,
no.
agency.
I had to actually, I had to
There's many
talk to them.
agencies
I had to
in Cape
comb my
Town.
hair. And,
Yeah.
No, Cape Town.
Like
No, I'm
modeling
married.
agencies and
No,
escorts and stuff.
go back. When I was single, I wasn't in Cape Town. I was living in Europe.
Oh, they plenty that side. That culture
Yeah,
of billionaires, bookings.
But
and
you don't need to pay for it. I mean, you can if you want to. Charlie Sheen was very funny because he said, you don't pay an escort to come. You pay her to leave.
Ah, yeah, I heard that.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
bang on, man.
Which